You already know what to do. Subscribe, like, put it in the comments, and share the content. This way, we can help the channel grow. If it works for me, it can work for you.
That's good. Who is the best player in your neighborhood coming up?
I said a guy named Ernie Nelson. He was the
Ernie Nelson. He was the best player in the neighborhood.
That's when we were bitty basketball players. But as I got older, I mean, and the thing about me was that I grew a lot. I grew like 4 or 5 inches one summer. So I started hanging out with older guys at that time. And one of the guys I used to hang out with was a guy named Earl Manigault. So, you know, so I was 13 and 14 and he was 16, but I was hanging out with a guy like Earl Manigault and these were the guys because I was a little better in basketball than the guys of my age, and then I was a lot taller. I was a center most of the time when I was playing with those guys. But yeah, those were the guys I was playing with. Earl Manigault, Red Cobb, Ori Cobb, guys who went on, Ori Cobb went on to Marquette, and you know, and everybody knows the story about Earl Manigault. So I mean, those were the guys that I was playing at that time.
Now, we all heard, you know, the rumors about him being able to jump on the backboard and take 50 Cent off, right? Those mental legends we hear for years. Was he a really good ball player, like at your level?
Okay, what's the next question?
You answered it, OG. You answered it. You got it. You got it.
I mean, what I would say is that, put it this way. You gotta remember, I mean, Earl Manigault was a 5'11" power forward. So I mean, I get it now.
That's
what I'm saying. You know, for the era of basketball, and I mean, like it was for 5'11" at that time to be able to dunk in a game. You know, doing this at that time in the '60s was phenomenal. So I mean, that's what I mean. You know, his ability, the position would not have going on as it was. He was a 5'11" power forward back then.
Gotcha. It makes sense. So what you ended up at Stuyvesant was strictly an academic move.
Yes.
Right? Credit to your teacher. You still wanted to play basketball.
Well, the thing,
right? These guys they were 1 in 27, and you still wanted to play, and that tells a lot about you and your character.
Well, the thing about it was that, you know, I wanted to play on the basketball team because I mean, like, Stuyvesant was a school where 98% of the graduates went to school on academic scholarships, and they wanted to go to Ivy League schools, and that was the predominantly education of those who went there. But I mean, I was a little different. I wanted to go to a school that had a basketball background. So at that time, especially when I was in high school and at Stuyvesant, NYU was a big basketball powerhouse at that time. And you know, they had Barry Kramer and guys like that. So I was looking to try to get a basketball scholarship. So I wanted to go out for the basketball team, and I never forget the guy's name. I mean, his name was Ed Cavallero. And I mean, I went out and he told me that, you know, that he did not allow, you know, freshmen or sophomores to play on the basketball team. And the team was 1 in 27. And he would not allow me to play on the team. And I decided that if I was going to be able to play basketball, I would have to, you know, go somewhere else. And luckily, I played on an AAU team that had a couple of players that were going at that time down to Laurinburg Institute, and they told me about where they were going and what they were going to be involved in and what the school was about. And it was so funny that the year that they were telling me about it, they had 3 guys that were graduating from that school at the time. One guy named was James Barlow, who was one of the best backcourt players from our era. Another guy named was Dexter Westbrook, who was 6'7", who went to Providence. And the third guy at that school name was Jimmy Walker, who went to Providence, ended up being the #1 draft choice in the 1966 draft for the Detroit Pistons and an All-American all the way around. So, and, you know, so I mean, they were leaving, but the pedigree of the school had really been there, and I decided that, you know, that would be my best opportunity really to get a basketball scholarship and then really to go to college.
Wow, Jimmy Walker, Jalen Rose's father, #1 draft pick. Look at that, Laurinburg. I had a couple of friends that went to Laurinburg as well. Keith Stroud, Anthony Ravel, and Lloyd Daniels.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
And one of my coaches, the great Gil Reynolds, used to coach there.
yes, that's true. And the thing about it, what people don't know is that, you know, Jimmy Walker went there, but the first great basketball player out of Laurinburg Institute named is Sam Jones. And people don't know that Sam Jones.
No, I didn't know. I read about it today. Yes.
I mean, he's originally from Laurinburg. He was from that area, and he went to that school. And Mr. McDuffie,
Wow.
always. And in fact, I always kid Sam because when I was a junior at Laurinburg, Mr. McDuffie took us to see the Boston Celtics play. I think it was that time the San Francisco Warriors, you know, at a game at Charlotte Coliseum. I had the opportunity to meet Sam Jones for the first time. And I always kid him about it because, you know, as a kid growing up from New York City and never really being around professional athletes, I mean, to get the opportunity to meet a professional athlete, and I was so excited about meeting them. And I never forget that my coach used to say, Sam, I want you to meet a young man named, you know, Charles Scott. He's a real young man. And I put my hand out to meet Sam, and the first thing Sam did was give me $1 and say, go out and buy me some popcorn, kid. And I never let him forget it. I keep telling him every time I see him that the first thing he ever did to me was, you know, would burst my ego about, you know, about meeting a professional basketball player. But, you know, Sam was the first really true basketball player from that era. And, you know, I had opportunity, you know, just to follow in those guys' footsteps, to be honest.
Now you moving down to North Carolina, did you have to deal with a lot of racial problems down there as well?
Well, really, I didn't move to Laurinburg. Laurinburg is a private prep school. Like I said, it's just like Oak Hill. It was Oak Hill before Oak Hill. I mean, like 80% of the students there were from the North Carolina area.
Gotcha.
It's a private school, but the basketball team itself were a conglomerate of players from all over the country. And like I said, it was, you know, the same circumstance as Oak Hill, and guys went there with the idea of going to college, you know, gaining college scholarships. And like I said, you know, my roommate at the time named was Skip Hayes. He went on to Providence. My other roommate, Al Williams, went on to Winston-Salem State. You know, and so I mean, the school was known for, you know, putting out basketball prodigies. So I mean, and I remember in my class, my class went on to college. You know, one had scholarships to college. So it was really known, you know, from the basketball program, really very well known. But the most important thing about the school, it really taught you, you know, work ethics, and it really prepared you for college, because Mr. McDuffie, he made us. It was like, you know, 7 to 9, you were in the dormitories, was always study hours. So you gained that knowledge of, you know, you gained how to learn how to study, which benefited me when I went to college after that point.
Yeah, and that's your second angel right there, Coach McDuffie.
Oh yeah,
right.
Well, Mr. McDuffie, not only he's an angel, he's a naysayer. I mean, and be honest with you, he probably had more to do with me going to North Carolina than anybody else in this world, because if I'd have had my choice, and really at the end of my senior year, if I had my choice of who was my favorite coach and who was the guy I would want to be with and play for, would be Lefty Driesell. I mean, Lefty and I are still great friends. I mean, I consider him one of the most important persons in my life, because he was one that put the light on me, shined the light on me from a national standpoint. That actually, really, Lefty was the first person to recruit me, and it was after him that after that, had 100 scholarship offers to major colleges all over the country. But he was the one that first recruited me, and he was the one that always, you know, showed interest in me. And to this day, I mean, I always tell people, you know, Coach Smith is really, you know, my father died when I was very young, at 14. So Coach Smith was always to me, a father figure. But Lefty comes in as a second father figure. I mean, up to this day, we are always still very close. So I mean, that was really the significance of that circumstance. You know, Lefty was really the first person that really showed interest in me.
Y'all ready?
You have just stepped out into the world